Gibanica. What is gibanica? So gibanica is this, which is a dish that is from the Balkan region. This particular recipe is from Macedonia, and it's often eaten for breakfast. You cut it into squares, and what it is basically a phyllo and cheese and egg dish. The first thing we're gonna do is crumble up the cheese, then we're gonna make the filling / topping, and then we're gonna assemble. So what I like to do is use a combination of feta and like a non-brined fresh cheese. So what I usually use is queso blanco, which I find works really well. But I found this, and it's just called farmer's cheese, and we're gonna try that today. All right, so that's what it looks like. Usually izvarka is the type of cheese that you use, but I don't find that it's really readily available where I live, so this is kind of my approach to imitating the flavors. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is to make the filling. So what you're gonna do is take 5 eggs and beat them for like 2 to 3 minutes until they become light and fluffy. All right, so this is kind of what it looks like after like 1 to 2 minutes. You can use the hand mixer. I use that sometimes and it takes a little bit longer. And then I did throw like a pinch of salt in there as well. All right, so now what you're gonna do is you're going to add a cup of yogurt. I'm using skyr, but you can use whatever you like. So a cup of yogurt, and then a cup of mineral water. Of oil. I'm using sunflower oil. You could use a different oil if you wanted to. So here's your oil. And then 12 grams of baking soda. I just measured mine with a scale, but I did measure it out for anybody who doesn't have a scale, and it's like a scant tablespoon or maybe 2.5 teaspoons of baking soda. So now we're gonna turn the mixer back on and do that for maybe just like 30 seconds just to get things combined. And then after that, we're gonna assemble, and you wanna kind of be ready to go because it's nice to have this ready, but you don't want it to just sit forever because then it will start to deflate. Okay, so this is the pan that I'm going to use today, and it's a size 36 pan. But if you have like a 9x13 pan, I just wanted to compare because they're actually pretty similar. This one's slightly longer and just a bit more narrow, but really it'll work. It's close enough. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is oil the pan. So oil the bottom and the sides. And then we're gonna start layering the phyllo dough. So this recipe is not layering the phyllo dough like sheet on top of sheet, like you would in say like a baklava. What we're actually gonna do is just create a base, and then we're gonna make little parcels in the middle. So 6 across and 3 down. So it's gonna be 24 little parcels, and then we're gonna put a top on. So 1 sheet on the bottom, and then a bit of oil. Doesn't need to be like completely covering it, just a bit. Then another sheet, a bit of oil, third sheet. And a bit of oil again. And then what you're gonna do next is to make the little parcels. So I'll show you how to do one of those, and then we'll do the internet magic and I'll show you all of them together. All right, so to do the parcels, what you're gonna do is take a sheet of phyllo dough, a little handful of your cheese, like maybe that much, and just kind of make a little parcel like so, and then place it in here. And so then you'll do, for this size of pan, 6 across and 3 over, and that will kind of be the middle of your. Okay, so that didn't, I think, actually have 30 in it because it ran a couple short, but as long as it's pretty like medium density, I would say. You don't want to pack in really tight, but if you don't have enough of these little parcels, then that's gonna kind of impact the structural integrity of the body of it. All right, so what we're gonna do next is, I have a little bit of the cheese left, and we're gonna just sprinkle it over the top. And then we're gonna take all but maybe like a cup of this filling and pour it over. That's why I keep saying filling / topping, because it's also gonna be a topping. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour this over the top. Leave maybe that much. And then just kind of make sure that it's evenly distributed. Kind of, maybe we'll add just a bit more on the side to kind of even it out. All right, so kind of have all of those saturated now. So now what we're gonna do is the topping, which I only have 2 left, but it's okay. It's a pretty forgiving recipe. It doesn't need to be exact. Some of those ones that wouldn't come apart earlier, I use them on the parcels, and it really doesn't matter because they're crumpled up. So yeah, if you want it to look amazing, you can leave one that looks really nice for the top. So we're just gonna do phyllo, a little bit of oil, another layer of phyllo, and this will be your top of it. Then what we will do is pour oil. I think we do oil at the end. All right, so pour the topping over the top. And then what we're gonna do is cut it into pieces before we actually put it in the oven, and then we'll cut it again when it comes out. So here's your topping. And then cut it. Good stuff. All right, so I've got a knife here, a serrated knife, like a bread type of knife will work. It's not really gonna look like anything like this, but when it comes out of the oven, you'll be able to see where it was cut, and the middle will kind of puff up. So I'm gonna do in half, and then in half again, and then thirds on each side. So 6 across and 2 up and down. You can cut them into whatever size you want them to be. So I have my oven preheating at 400, and then this is gonna go in uncovered for 20 minutes at 400, and then take a look at it, see what it looks like, and then you wanna do another like 10 to 15 minutes at probably somewhere between like 300 and 350. It kind of just depends how much it's browning. You want it to be golden brown, but not where it's getting to be on the borderline of burnt. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the oven, and we'll do 20 minutes at 400, another 10 and 15 at 300 or so, and then I'll show what it looks like when it comes out. All right, so it's done. I think it came out really nicely, and you can kind of see the scores that we did. But what we're gonna do is go through those again, and I'll just do one for now. And we will cut it, get it out. This goes really nicely if you want to have it with a glass of kefir for breakfast in the morning. So pull it out, and that looks amazing. So you can see we have the layer of cheese in here, the phyllo. It's great, slightly cooled from the oven. This has been cooling a bit, or you can also have it kind of more room temperature. So this is Gibanica. I hope you guys try it and let me know if you like it.